What if the answers to life's deepest questions were already written thousands of years ago? Today, we delve into Psalm 119, a treasure trove of wisdom and guidance. Often referred to as the Great Psalm, Psalm 119 is the longest chapter in the Bible, with a remarkable 176 verses. This psalm is an acrostic poem of 22 stanzas, each beginning with a letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and each verse within that stanza beginning with the same letter. The first 8 verses, the Aleph section, serve as an introduction. Here, the psalmist sets the tone by expressing a deep desire for God's guidance and a commitment to God's laws. He speaks of those who walk in the law of the Lord, who seek Him with their whole heart, as being blessed. The psalmist, in his longing for God's commands, reveals his understanding that God's laws are not burdensome, but are a path to a blessed and fulfilled life. In the second section, Beth, verses 9 to 16, the psalmist asks a poignant question: how can a young person stay on the path of purity? The answer is simple yet profound: by living according to God's word. The author declares his dedication to memorizing and meditating on God's laws, a practice he sees as a shield against sin. The Gimel section, verses 17 to 24, comes next. Here, the psalmist prays for understanding and insight into God's word. He recognizes his dependence on God's grace for enlightenment and his need for God's word to navigate through life's challenges. This pattern continues through the remaining 19 alphabetic sections. The psalmist continually emphasizes the importance of God's law, his love for it, and his commitment to it. It's a beautiful and compelling narrative of a person's journey of faith, a journey that is marked by a deep love for God and His word. In the final stanza, Tav, verses 169 to 176, the psalmist ends as he began, with a plea for God's guidance and a declaration of his love for God's commands. He acknowledges his imperfections and his need for God's saving grace. So what can we glean from this extensive, heartfelt psalm? Firstly, Psalm 119 underscores the importance of God's word as a guide for life. It's not just about rules to follow, but a blueprint for a fulfilling, righteous life. Secondly, it highlights the significance of a personal relationship with God. The psalmist is not following God's laws out of duty or fear, but out of love and a deep desire to know God more. Lastly, the psalmist's humility and self-awareness are striking. He acknowledges his weaknesses and his need for God's grace. He understands that spiritual growth is a lifelong journey that requires constant learning and reliance on God. So as we reflect on Psalm 119, let it be a reminder to treasure God's word, to seek a deeper relationship with Him, and to approach our spiritual journey with humility and grace. This ancient text, penned so many centuries ago, still holds profound wisdom for us today.